Sometimes love looks like dinner, making someone's favorite meal for them, bringing them soup when they're sick, or simply cooking for your friends, for your loved ones, because you care. And a new study suggests that act of giving, of making food for people, might lift the cook's mood too. This is a topic that's pretty close to my heart as a home cook. And I'm here with Dr. Michael Kocet, a licensed mental health counselor, a culinary therapist, and dean at Newman University to discuss this. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me.
So I think a lot of people just think of cooking as like a means to an end. They have to do something because they got to eat something. And if they don't do something, they won't eat. They'll be hungry. But what does the research tell us about what happens when we cook, not just for ourselves, but for other people?
Sure. Well, I'll even share my own life. I think the act of cooking and being intentional about, is my friend, is my loved one going to like this dish that I'm cooking? I'm love going on Pinterest and finding new recipes. So, I'm really excited about like just lifting up somebody's day and being intentional about that. So, yeah, especially during COVID, we saw a lot of people cooking for their neighbors, sliding dishes in front of a door and running away, and leaving it there. And so people get connected and experience relational connections through the act of cooking. Cooking is not an isolated thing. Yeah, we can heat up something in the microwave for ourselves, but people gather around food all the time. The kitchens are the number one places where people gather. The hearth of a home is the kitchen space. So.
This notion of community around food, I get. But what's really interesting to me is like what the person who does the cooking, who does that gift, that act for another person, what do they get out of it? Until I read an article about this, I never realized like the benefit that it would have on me.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think the energy and excitement of, again, being creative, looking at the different recipes, looking at, well, how can I tweak this if I don't have a certain ingredient? What can I substitute? And again, for me, it's about excitement of, I'm trying a new recipe. I wonder how my friends are going to respond to it. Will they like it? Will it be an epic failure? Which that happens sometimes, but I think it's not about the dish itself. It's about the act of love and connection that people sense from making a dish for somebody. And then the people receiving it see it as a gift from the heart, because, it's like, we can run to the store and grab a gift, some kind of gift for a friend. But when somebody crochets us something or makes us something, it has a more deeper meaning. And so I think that also, if we were to crochet a gift for somebody, that time that it takes, so the time to prepare a meal for somebody lifts us up. It boosts self-esteem. It boosts self-confidence for those of us who are cooking and just having fun with it.
When I'm feeling down and my girlfriend has like plans with a friend or something, maybe she's just going out with one of her close friends, she'll say, do you want to cook for me and Debbie? Do you want to cook for me and Sally? And I realize now she's kind of doing it for me. She's like allowing me to like create this sort of nice social thing for her and her friend, and the three of us will eat. And she knows I'm going to be in the kitchen. And I just realized she's like secretly using psychology against me to get me out of my bad mood when she does that. And I think it works.
Well, it absolutely does. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I work with that they'll say, like, when I'm stressed, I love to bake or I'll cook, or like I'm more of a cook than a baker. I can bake, but cooking is more my passion. Some people are usually in one or two of the camps, but yeah, I definitely, when we're stressed, when we're feeling anxious, depressed, sad, cooking can definitely boost our mood, because when we're creating a dish, like with all the stress of the world and we don't know, am I making a difference in my work and in my life with other people? But when I make a dish, and people eat it and they go, wow, this is good, it boosts our serotonin. It boosts our kind of sense of self. Like, yes, I made something that made somebody happy, and now I'm happy.
I got into cooking after I quit drinking. I'm in recovery. I needed to be away from bars and restaurants. I was like in my early 30s, and I never really learned how to cook. I was just like one of those people who fixes things quickly, like throws something in the microwave, buys the pre-made sauce. Anyway, my first year of cooking, I wasn't great at it. My girlfriend would always be like, that doesn't taste so good. Fine, whatever. I still remember the first time I made a dish and I invited a friend over and he took one bite of it and he went, involuntarily. I felt so good.
Yeah.
And that, this is just like a little scene I'm painting for you, but that feeling that you get when people enjoy what you made and you did something from start to finish, you did it well. You have this sense of like autonomy, control. And there's that social benefit. I would encourage people to cook for their friends is the main takeaway here.
I mean, I hear people that like they don't like to cook or whatever, and usually that's around what chefs will call mise en place. If somebody doesn't have good mise en place, then they're running around the kitchen and they don't know what they have, and
This
they
is
thought
the
they had
meal
an
prep.
ingredient.
This is like your chopped onions,
Yeah,
your chopped garlic,
yes. Right, you
your
have your
patted
one cup
down
of
beef.
this.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I cook, if I'm stressed and while I'm cooking, like I feel like I'm running around, then my mise en place is off. So that is a huge thing that contributes to feeling good about cooking a dish. Like make sure good mise en place, or good mise as chefs call it, is really important.
I know we're talking about food and community and feeling good because you made your friends feel good, but is there like a deeper lesson here about happiness that like sometimes we'll feel better not by focusing on ourselves, but by focusing on other people and doing kind acts for other people?
I think there is this drive psychologically to have a sense of altruism. I just saw a story recently about opening doors for people. Like I open doors for people, all genders. It doesn't matter, like it's just a kind thing to do. Greet somebody in the morning, let somebody pass, on the road, like let them into the lane. Like there's a sense of giving, and it does make the giver feel better as well, not just the recipient of whatever that gift or that dish or opening the door, but we, the giver, also feel better because we're helping somebody. And so I think there's that natural drive to help. So through cooking, we all need to be fed. We all need to be nourished. So I think making a special dish, and it doesn't even have to be that special or fancy. It could be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It doesn't matter. When somebody creates an act of some kind of lunch or food or dinner dish for us, we know that they took the time to do it. It took some time to make the chicken or make the roast or whatever, and put a little sprig of rosemary on it or whatever. And so like the fact that it looks pretty and it smells delicious, like there's lots of layers. The great thing about cooking is we use all of our senses. And so we might feel better because we're smelling the aroma of, the meat cooking, and we hear the sizzling on the stove, and we know when it's ready because of the sound of the sizzle, and we know when to take it off. So we taste, certainly. So I think that's why cooking it hits home so much, because we use our whole selves as cooks to share it with people.
For people who find dinner party invitations annoying, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go to that friend's house." Would you just encourage them to accept them? Would you encourage them to receive the gift of a meal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes people, I'm an introvert, but I've taught myself how to be an extrovert, and so sometimes we're just not in the mood to be social. But again, if we have going to a potluck, or if somebody is cooking for us, recognizing it as a true special gift, that they're opening their home, but they're opening their heart, and they're taking a risk by making a dish, and they're hoping that we like it and that we enjoy it. It's an extension of friendship. It's an extension of a romantic partnership by cooking a meal. In my head, I plan my meals ahead about what I'm going to cook for us, and get excited about. I'm going to try this dish, and I can't wait to see how he responds and what he thinks of it.
Well, you were preaching to the converted with this topic because I love cooking for friends, but I think people should reconsider if they don't like cooking or don't like cooking for others because of the benefits they can get from it. Michael, I've
Yes.
enjoyed the chat.
Great. Thanks so much.
Dr. Michael Kocet is a licensed mental health counselor, a culinary therapist, and dean at Newman University.